Hi there guys, I just thought while I was playing around with the Grand Seiko that I would show you another watch from my collection. This watch, truth be told, is actually probably one of the first watches that I purchased, or the higher end purchases. You look at the dial there and you may say Invicta, high end. Well, this is no ordinary Invicta. This is an Invicta from yesteryear, probably around about 10-12 years ago. This is the Invicta Certified Chronometer Speedway limited edition. There were 500 of these made, as I understand, and I did have one previously and sold it, and I instantly regretted it. And it took me a couple of years to track another one down because there aren't that many around. But I eventually did track this one down, and yeah, pulled the trigger, and now I can safely say that this is one that will not be leaving my collection. It's a wonderful watch. It's probably about 44mm across. It's a beautiful galosh dial there, sort of like a bricked sort of effect there. Again, to say certified chronometer. I haven't actually checked the accuracy of it because, like I said, I've got probably 20 odd watches in my collection, and they don't tend to get enough wrist time each to really matter about, you know, whether it's keeping within 4 seconds or so a day. But you can see it's obviously been well used. Some of the black etching is now gone, so every so often I'll just rub a little bit of black texture in there to try and keep it, but I'll probably have to go and get it re-enameled at some point. But again, there's nothing worse than a watch that's not being used. You can see this one has signs clearly of being used. Again, you know, the functionality of the watch is absolutely fantastic. It does have a loom on it. It's probably not the best loom out there, but certainly adequate enough to be able to see the time during the night if you are one of those guys that wears the watch in the middle of the night. Bracelet, very heavy duty. Again, solid end links, and a beautiful movement there, fully decorated with that Invicta blued rotor, and again just some engraving in the back there stated as a certified chronometer. And you see this was number 402 out of 500 that were made. Again, it still has this Invicta sort of engraving on the side. I'm not too fussed whether it's there or not, to be honest. Clearly it is an Invicta, and it is clearly a homage to the Speedmaster. But again, in some respects I quite like that because it makes it very clear that it is not a Daytona, and it's certainly a hell of a lot larger than a Daytona and probably weighs a little bit more. Price wise, I picked this up for about $750 US around about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know what the retail on these things is now. I mean, obviously you can get them second hand, but I don't see them up for sale very often, so I think people are just keeping hold of them. And again, you know, the Invicta retail price is probably something like about $7,000. I'd be surprised if any of them ever sold for that. But I think it used to, back in its heyday when it was first released, it did go for $1 or $2 grand US. Maybe guys, you can put in the comments if you've got any experience of that. You can see here the clasp is Invicta Speedway signed. Again, the bracelet, like I say, the bracelet's really good. I mean, it is pin links, but it doesn't have a cheap feel to it whatsoever. Again, the pushers are screw down, and as is the main crown. Anyway, I thought you guys would be interested in having a look at this. Like I say, it isn't a low-end watch at all, but it is an Invicta. So lovers and haters, please feel free to leave some comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks guys, bye bye.